Hi there, this is Scott Lear from Grassroots Motorsports magazine. Today we've got some pretty cool in-car video from a NASA Mid-Atlantic race that we took part in with our Mini Cooper S project. We had cameras to the front and rear. I'm going to go ahead and let the action speak for itself here for the first few seconds. This is the green flag coming up. Two cars behind us, directly behind us, that's David Rhodes in his Rhino Racing Honda CRX. He's actually not in our class, though he's obviously pushing hard to get by, and the Celica that just left the frame off the left there and is about to make a pass on us here is in our class. That's in Performance Touring C. That's Jeff Williams in a Toyota Celica that was originally built for the celebrity races that they do each year out in California. I believe Cameron Diaz drove that one, believe it or not. Whoa, David Rhodes taking a bit of an unconventional line around that tight left-hander. Obviously, he's in a hurry to get by us. We managed to get him on the drag race after the green flag, but he did have a slightly quicker qualifying time and obviously has the measure of us here in terminal velocity, but it's his job to get around us, so it's some pretty cool video at the back of the car as he does his best to do just that. This is the entrance to VIR's famous uphill climbing S's, one of the more challenging sections. As a result of some new BF Goodrich R1 tires and a really cool Sneed Speed front splitter, we were fairly comfortable going up that section absolutely flat out every time, which was something unusual. Last time we were here without the front splitter, the car would get a little squirrely at the top end, but now it's just planted anytime there's speed in the car. Coming out of Oak Tree there, that is the slowest corner, where mechanical grip is just about all you have. You can see this Celica ahead of us it's a lighter car by probably about 200 or 300 pounds, although it does not have the power of our supercharged Mini Cooper. So one area where we were able to pull him, this really long back straight at VIR, which is a joy when you're the one who's got a little more power. Now watching this pass in hindsight, you can see I'm clearly by him, and then looking to the rear, I had a pretty good advantage. I probably could have pushed this a little harder than I did, but early in the race, didn't feel like risking the car on the first lap. Maybe that's not the Studley Racer thing to do, but kind of giving space, and that does allow Rhodes to get back by me, but frankly, that's where he belonged. He was just driving faster on this day. Now my hope is to try and keep in touch with Williams, who is in my class, so we'll see if I can manage to do that. Behind me here is Wade Johnson in his Nissan Sentra SER. He is in the Performance Touring E category, so he is racing that black Honda CRX that just passed us. It'll be his best interest to get around me and try and stay in touch with the guy he's chasing. So right now we've got a bit of a mingling between the PTC and the PTE categories. Wade making a clean pass here in turn one. Wade's Sentras was the last of the cars directly behind me. Our little group here at the front of the Stinger category has kind of broken free of the pack, so I'm sort of the slowest of the fast, you could say. It's all up to me to try and keep in touch with Williams in the Celica as the PTE battle unfolds between us here. Most I can hope to do is drive the cleanest line I can, keep my speed up, and see if I can't go ahead and catch that Celica. Off there shows us that Williams is definitely pushing hard with that CRX behind him, so that's some hope for us. Kind of gives you a little bit of an emotional boost when you see the guy you're chasing down is on the ragged edge and you maybe have a little left in reserve. Gonna warp ahead here a little bit and show you this will be a full lap, unedited, looking out the front. You can see we're back in touch with Williams. The Performance Touring E cars have sort of sorted out their battle. Both have made past So they're kind of out sorting their own deal, and now it's my job to put as much pressure as I can on that Celica and hope for a mistake. He's not slower enough than me that I can just make an outright pass. I'm going to rely on pressure, just trying to fill his mirrors as much as I can, make him think about nothing but the Mini Cooper. Hopefully he'll be looking at me when he should have been looking ahead, something like that. Any little bobble is what you're hoping for when you're in this position. I've got speed on him in some areas. He's quicker than I am in other areas, but that's one of the fun things about the performance touring category is instead of spec cars where everybody's in theoretically the same thing, you get some weird stuff. Like I said before, he's lighter than we are. We've got more power than he does. I want to think I have maybe a little more aero grip, mechanical grip. We might be in a similar category. But he told me after this race that it was one of the most enjoyable races he'd ever had. He didn't think he'd ever been pushed this hard. He said, you just saw me at 110%. So that's rewarding, and we'll watch it happen. Taking a little peek there just to fill his mirrors with that Mini Cooper, let him know I'm there. Didn't have a genuine run, but sometimes it's a psychological game. Kind of tell by the body language on his car. He's pushing pretty hard, so my hope is again for that mistake. Nearing the end of the full lap here, we promised. This is the hog pen, which leads on to the front straight at VIR, so that's one of the trickier and more important corners. The more speed you carry out of there, the more you carry all the way down this long straight. This bend up here doesn't even really count as a corner. Yes, you have to turn the wheel, but your foot's plenty flat until you get to the braking zone. We're going to go ahead and start skipping ahead here a bit again to look at some of the highlights, but you can see him locking up. I thought that might be the opportunity. I won't lie, I was kind of hoping he'd end up in the grass there. That would have given me a good 5-10 seconds advantage, but just didn't happen. Here's an example of how pressure works both ways. I've been pushing him hard. I'm seeing that rear tire locking up. Right here, this was probably my opportunity, but genius me, I missed the shift. So going for third gear, missed it, all that momentum, lost. And you can see, even though he was way off, he's actually got a run on me. Here we are again with Williams locking it up in Oak Tree, putting the pressure on. This is the last lap, last chance. He goes a little bit wide, but not enough to lose any traction. I made the shift that time, but of course it doesn't give me any advantage here. If I could push the pedal through the floor here, I would, in the hopes of getting that extra 2 miles an hour. I might need to get a run on him here going into the roller coaster, but it's just not going to happen. I'm pulling. Once again, going to take a peek here. He's just got me under the braking, and whoa, there was another one of those things. Fingers crossed. Although he was going to go off anywhere, I'm glad it wasn't there. That's not a corner you want to see anybody go flying. So this one's not going to work out for us. We're going to have to deal with second place, a silver medal, but honestly, that was a really cool race, and again, it was nice talking to Jeff afterwards and hearing that was his all, and just both of us pushing each other harder. That was a fun way to do it. Checkered flag flying from the stand, and that'll be it for Saturday's race.
I need you to go very fast, and when you see that corner, turn. All right, go!